Happy Sunday, everyone. My name is Samantha, and I'm back this week with another recipe for you guys. This week I have some dog treats for you, and these are a biscuit type of dog treat, so hopefully your dog's interested in those. I am going to go ahead and show you how to make them. These are a peanut butter flavored treat, which is a very popular type of treat that most dogs like. So I'm just going to jump right into it. If you guys have watched my recipes in the past, you know the deal. I show you how to make them and prepare them, and then you can do that in your own home with your own dog. So the first ingredient that I have is 2 cups of sugar. You could use, sorry, I'm just going to grab a rubber spatula. You could use wheat flour if you wanted to, or white flour, doesn't matter. Of course, if your dog has a wheat allergy, that's going to depend for you. I used white flour. So there is 2 cups of flour. I have 1 cup of rolled oats. Rolled oats are not the same thing as oatmeal, so if you are looking in the grocery store, rolled oats and oatmeal are not the same thing. I learned that myself when I first started making this recipe. So you want to do your 2 cups of flour and your 1 cup of rolled oats. Rolled oats, by the way, are in the same place in the grocery store as oatmeal. You just want to make sure that you buy the ones that are rolled oats and not just the traditional oats. So I'm just going to mix those, blend those together a little bit. Then I have 1.5 cups of water, and you only want to add 1 cup of the water right now, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then you just set the other 1/2 cup of water off to the side for now. You can go ahead and stir that up a little bit. It's going to be a doughy consistency. It's not hard to stir, and it only takes just a second. Again, you don't add enough water so that it's really like a runny mixture, like pancake mix. You're turning it into a dough, so it's going to get harder to stir. It's going to be clumping together. Don't expect it to be a mixture like a cake mix or a pancake mix or anything like that. You want to get a dough. And then I've got 1/3 cup of peanut butter, smooth peanut butter, and I am going to scrape that in here. Now that my dough is getting a little bit thicker, I need something a little bit stronger to stir with. So you want to make sure that peanut butter is mixed all the way through. And again, this is a doughy consistency, so it's not easy to stir, but you want to just work it, keep working the mixture until you notice that the peanut butter is mixed all the way through, or else you're going to have some dog treats that have a really bland flavor, and then you're going to have a few of your dog treats that are very peanut buttery tasting. My dogs love these treats. They do love peanut butter flavor. We do have an older boxer. She's 6. She's a rescue dog, and she has barely any teeth for whatever reason. Whatever happened to her before she came to our house, her dental hygiene was very poor. So she doesn't actually like many biscuit treats, and I've tried a lot of different homemade recipes with her. She'll eat these ones. She's not a huge fan. She prefers jerky treats, which I showed you guys a couple of weeks ago, the chicken jerky treats. If you haven't seen those, you can hop on our website and check that out in the recipes section. Okay, so those are pretty well mixed now, and I am going to add about 1 tablespoon of raw honey. This is honey from our local farmer's market. You don't have to use raw honey, but it's much, much better. It's much healthier for you. It's much healthier for your dog. So we get that right at our farmer's market. It's not the same as the stuff that comes in the little bear-shaped bottle in the grocery store. This is not processed in any way. So that's why we choose to buy raw honey, but again, it doesn't have to be raw honey. And then I have fish oil here, and you want to add about a half a tablespoon of fish oil, which is just going to be about a half a pump for me for my bottle. You don't want that fishy smell and taste to the dog treats. I mentioned to you a couple of weeks ago, if you saw my video on the homemade dog food that I made, I try to add fish oil to almost everything that I make for my dogs. It's such a huge benefit for them. It's good for their brain, it's good for their skin, it's good for their coat. It's really just a wonderful overall, it's full of omega fatty acids, so it's overall just a very wonderful thing to add in if you can add that into any recipe. Again, you don't want it to be an overbearing fishy smell, but you do want to make sure that you get a little bit of it mixed in there whenever you can. I add it right to their dog food sometimes, or in this case add it into their treats. So again, that's a nice doughy mixture. You can tell that it's clumpy. My peanut butter is evenly distributed. You don't see any pockets of real dark, tan peanut butter color that you haven't mixed the peanut butter in. And now you want to just slowly add your other half a cup of water. If you notice it getting a little bit too runny, you want to stop adding water, but 1.5 cups usually is great for me. So I'm just going to add that. It makes it a little bit easier to stir, and just moistens that dough enough that it's a lot easier to work with. It's not quite as rigid and stiff. You don't want your dough to be sticky, and that is one thing when you're making biscuit treats that you want to be cautious of. If you add too much water, your dough will be sticky. I think you can tell I didn't use quite all my water, so I'm going to leave it right there because it's looking pretty good. Get it all mixed up. I'm going to show you guys what it looks like when it's fully mixed and ready to go, and then I am going to roll it out for you and show you that process. So you can see my dough here, it's a little bit lighter in color now. The water helped really blend everything and mix everything together. So I'm going to go ahead now. I'm going to prepare my counter here to roll it out, and then I will be back and I will show you guys the next step. Okay, so now's the time you're going to want to preheat your oven to 350 degrees, which I've already done. I just did that before I turned the camera on. So preheat to 350 degrees. Now I have my workstation. I put about 2 tablespoons of flour on my counter, and then I put another tablespoon on top of the dough, and that gets on your hands just so you're not sticking to the dough, and you can just work that through. The good thing about these dog treats is that if they're a little bit too sticky for you, you can always add more flour. So that's nice. It won't ruin them if you add too much water. Just go ahead, put a couple more tablespoons of flour on, work the dough again, making sure that there's nothing that there's no parts like a big clump of peanut butter. There's no parts that don't have any excuse me, I'm going to grab some more flour. There's no parts that have any oats or anything like that, a big clump. So I'm just going to grab, this is probably about another 2 tablespoons. My dough is a little bit sticky, and that's why you're working it around. You want to make sure that you're blending everything in there and you can feel the consistency of it. It's not sticking to my hands, as you can tell. So that's what you want. Whoops, it is still a little bit sticky in there. See, I didn't measure my flour out perfectly when I put it in the bowl. I kind of just guesstimated, but usually I use 2 cups, and today I was in a hurry and I didn't do what I was supposed to do. So, but that's okay. If you add too much water, you can always go back, like I said, just add a little bit more flour. It's not going to hurt your dough at all. And once this is completed, you want to I make sure to sprinkle a little bit of flour on top here, and you're going to get a rolling pin. I conveniently have right here. And you're just gonna wanna roll these out until they're probably about a ½ inch thick. If you're thinking about these when they bake, they're not really gonna rise very much. And you don't want these big, huge 2-inch thick treats for your dog. So you wanna just gently work that out until it's about a ½ inch thick everywhere. Want to be really careful about the middle. A lot of times people look at the edges and they think, oh yeah, that's probably about a ½ inch or even a ¼ inch. You could go a little thinner if you wanted to. And a lot of people, again, they look at that edge and they think, yeah, that's about good. That's not very thick. But they don't realize that they've forgotten to also smooth out the center while they go along. So just make sure you push that center out and smooth that out a little bit. Now you can take a cookie cutter if you want to. Some people like to buy like a dog bone shaped cookie cutter. We have friends who make their own treats and they use cat shaped cookie cutters for their dogs. Not that their dogs don't like cats, they just think it's a little bit funny. So you can use that. I usually just take a butter knife and I cut these into squares. And the reason that I do this, and you can buy cookie cutters in different sizes as well, but I cut them into squares for smaller squares for my small dog and larger squares for my larger breeds. We have, for those of you who don't follow me and my videos yet, hopefully you will after this one, but we have 2 large breeds and then we have a small beagle, so I like to cut treats for both of them. So you get your little squares, and then you're going to take a cookie sheet. You want to oil it, grease it first, and then flour it so that these don't stick. And you just place them, like I said, they don't rise very much when they're baking, so you don't need to make sure you space them a lot. You know, you don't have to have anything more than maybe a ¼ inch between them. So I'm not going to make you watch me cut all of these, just a few of them, and you just place them on there. Again, if you want to use cookie cutters, this is a great family-friendly thing. Your kids can help out using cookie cutters. I do recommend that you use smaller cookie cutters if you're going to do that. And so once these are done, you cut all your cookies, you place them on the cookie sheet. You're going to bake them in your oven, which is 350 degrees, for about 40 minutes. It's going to dry them out nice, give them a nice biscuit texture. There you go, my oven's preheated. Give them a nice biscuit texture and they're going to be good to go. So again, I'm not going to make you guys watch me cut all of these, but I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to bake them and then I'll come back and I'll show you what the finished product looks like. Okay guys, so we have our finished biscuit treats here. I know they don't look like much right now, but like I said, I make 2 different sizes. I make a smaller size for our small breed and larger treats for our large breed. Now these weren't all the treats that I made. There's another pan in the oven right now. Depending on how thick you roll the dough and how big you cut your treats, you're going to get obviously a different amount, but I cut in these little squares. The larger ones that you can see are about the about 1 inch by 1 inch squares. And then I cut some smaller ones that are maybe ½ inch by, actually these ones are probably 1 inch by 1 inch, and those ones are maybe like 1.5 inches or 2 inches by 1.5 inches or 2 inches. So I get about 3 cookie sheets of treats with this, which is great. They last us for more than a month, and I bag them separately, so I put the little treats in one bag and I put the bigger treats in another bag. Again, they really, I know they don't look like anything special and they even don't really look appetizing to us, but your dog is going to love these. Our girls love them. With the exception of our boxer Chloe, who doesn't particularly like biscuit treats in general. So I go ahead and make her the jerky treats. And that's what she prefers. So if you have a dog that enjoys biscuit treats, especially for our 2 younger dogs, they enjoy chewing. So the crunch of these treats really gives them something to chew up, and they really enjoy that. So we have great luck with these oat and peanut butter biscuit treats. Again, here's just 1 cookie sheet full. I usually get about 3 cookie sheets full when I do a batch of these. So they're very cost effective. They're healthy. Again, you can make them as healthy as you want using the wheat flour or the white flour. We use raw honey instead of regular honey. And if you wanted to, you could add some fish oil like I do, or other supplements that your dog might need if he's not great at taking supplements. You could put like a probiotic powder in these if you wanted to, or something like that to make them a little bit healthier. So our dogs enjoy these. Again, I hope your dogs enjoy them. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, any questions pertaining to this recipe, any other recipes that you've seen, make sure that you send me a message. You can email me at samantha@topdogtips.com. You can follow us on social media. We are on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+. You can also follow us on Instagram. If you send messages through any social media site, those will get back to me. You can also leave us comments and send us messages through our website, topdogtips.com. Be sure to get on Top Dog Tips if you haven't yet, and you can check out the other recipes that I've done. I also do how-to videos, product reviews, product comparison videos. So get on and check those out. And I will be back next week with another recipe for some homemade dog food. So be sure you tune in to that next weekend. And again, if you follow us on social media, you'll get those updates when those new videos are available. So I hope you guys enjoyed this recipe. I hope your dogs enjoy the peanut butter and oat biscuit treats. And I will see you guys next time.